Hi there, I'm Steph Rickhammer with Empowered You Health Coaching. I am a health and life coach. I help women who are sick and uncomfortable in their skin. I help them change their habits to healthy ones so they can feel amazing and alive.
And I'm TaNelle Farnsworth, and I'm a health and life coach, and I help women strengthen their relationship with themselves and with the people they love the most.
Wonderful. So let me, I'm just thinking relationship with those you love. So my cousin posted this funny thing on Facebook yesterday, and I wanted to share it with you because it was hilarious. She writes very hilarious posts, and they're usually this long. And so yesterday it starts out that she's having a horrible day, and to make herself feel better, she stops at Dunkin' Donuts to get a latte, and she doesn't have the cash, so she has to pay in change, and she's counting out the change. And of course, you know, imagine already having a stressful day and like realizing you have to pay with coins. So counting out the change, and as she's doing it, the cashier was like, "Oh my goodness, that's a buffalo nickel." And then launches into this story about how he doesn't collect anything else in life. He really only collects buffalo nickels. And he is so excited. And does she happen to have one extra nickel so he can keep this nickel? And like, I think if I was in a bad mood, I might have just been like, can't you just trade it out? Can't you get your own nickel? Right. But she was like, all right. So she's digging through her purse to find him an extra nickel so he can collect, because his father collected buffalo nickels and his grandfather collected buffalo nickels. And so she ended up like walking in there so just blah, right? And then frustrated that she's counting out change, and then left feeling like, oh my goodness, that person was so excited because of a stupid nickel in the bottom of my bag. And so she gave it to him, because what else do you do in that moment? But so it was just this random, bizarre happenstance act of kindness that totally changed the course of her day. I thought it was so, well, the way she writes is hilarious, but I also thought the story was so fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Just like one simple little thing like that can just change your outcome and someone else's outcome.
It's so true. So right now I am actually trying to do one act of kindness outside of normal life every day, purposefully. Like, so I'm a kind of smiley person, and I think in general I'm pretty kind to people, but I'm like, so yesterday when I went to the coffee shop, I had a gift card, and I gave the gift card to the cashier and asked her to use it for the next person that came in. So that was a conscious act of kindness, because I think we get really overwhelmed and a little obsessed with buying things and doing things like we all inside our own self in December.
Yes, I agree. December is a crazy month because Christmas, and people are, I feel like people are trying to be more kind, but it's also a rushed, busy holiday month.
For sure.
And sometimes can be selfish.
It's so true. It's so true. So I actually looked this thing up, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was kind of cool. So excuse me. So one of the things about so there's lots of cool things about kindness, about that it actually does, like you said, make you feel better as well as the other person, right? So you and I had talked yesterday, and one of the things you were saying is you were pretty much done with your children's Christmas shopping, right? So there is a study that has shown that when purposely buying gifts for people, so not like, oh my goodness, I have to just have something for them to open, but thinking about what they want and purchasing a gift for people actually improves your mood and can okay, so how does it word here? To help develop social connections and can strengthen friendships and and improve your mood. So I was thinking about you and your you were saying you didn't complete some other things that you wanted to, but you probably like bought all those things and then felt really accomplished and awesome, right? And
It does. It feels good to be done.
so it's kind of cool to think, yes, you crossed something off your list, but it actually gave you something inside. It changed you chemically by thinking about what your children wanted.
Right.
And then
that is hard too sometimes. Like purposely think about what they actually like will enjoy and love and appreciate, I guess.
yes, and not for us, not what we think they should have, right?
Right.
I just had that conversation with somebody yesterday too. Like she really wants to buy a gift and I suggested something. She's like, that's not what he needs. And I was like, well, what you think he needs and would bring him joy is not necessarily what he thinks he needs and would bring him joy, right?
Right.
So you kind of have to put yourself in that other person's body and mind for a couple minutes. So,
right.
And then I was thinking, you know, we're such an anxious society and so much, I guess, anxiety and stress all the time that I was thinking maybe that's part of why everybody overbuys now is they somehow innately, they know they should have that feeling.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And I think too, like we just want to give our children so much and like, you know, make their lives easier. But yeah, I would have to agree.
So it's funny, when looking up some kindness things, because of the challenge, I've been Googling kindness a lot because a lot of suggestions people give you when you say you want to intentionally do an act of kindness every day is spending money, right? And
right.
sometimes that's a little tough to try and do 30 days of spending extra money. So I didn't want everything to be spending money. So anyway, so I've been researching a lot on various things on kindness, but so buying gifts for people, you're doing that anyway, that's spending money, but it's kind to them, but it's also giving you something. So what I realized was like an act of kindness can actually be for you. Doing something kind for yourself can impact those around you because of how you might feel afterwards.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Like, I love that because so for example, let me just tell you a story that happened yesterday that made me feel so good. As I was finishing up my Christmas shopping, I was at a store and I actually had a few coupons for the store and I had to either spend $45 to get $15 off, but I didn't need all that. I just needed to get a couple things of lotion and they were on sale. And so, and then I had to keep a couple other coupons and it was like, you know, whatever, if you're spending money, you can get this for free. Or it had something else that was like a discounted price. But I was like, I don't need any of that stuff. Anyways, this lady, I could hear her talking to her friend and she's like, oh, I love it. It's so soft, you know, like it's a Sharpa sweatshirt or something. And she looked at the price and she goes, it's $80. And I was like, as I'm thinking, like, oh man, I wish I could help her, you know? And she's like, and then her friend goes, you're not going to buy it? And she goes, no, it's $80. And her friend's like, we just spent an hour looking for this thing that you love. And as I'm getting closer, I'm thinking that I should, I'm like, oh, I have these coupons that I'm not going to use. So she can get $15 off because it's a purchase that's going to be $45, you know, like it's going to be over $45. And just like knowing like, oh, I have these in my pocket, like I totally give these to her. And I gave her all three because I'm not going to use them. Like I don't need them. I'm not going to use them. It made me feel good. And then she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like now I can buy it. So she was like so appreciative. and it made me feel good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And that's like
I mean,
not even anything, that's like not even anything big, you know? It's like simple little things that can just change your day. So.
Yeah. And those coupons probably would have just sat in the bottom of your purse anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I think something like taking time for yourself, working out or taking a bath or something like that, that makes you feel good. And then you feel, that's an act of kindness to you. And then you are then more kind to your family because you've been able to take some time to yourself,
Yes.
if that makes sense. I think we overlook the kindness to ourselves as well. But here, there's one other thing I wanted to read because I thought it was pretty cool. I might have lost the page. Okay, so this study was talking about, kind people have big hearts. And they found that, being kind actually releases chemicals in your body that make you feel good. And so it says, kindness releases the hormone oxytocin. And oxytocin causes the release of a chemical called nitric oxide in blood vessels, which dilates them. And this can reduce blood pressure. And if your blood vessels are dilated, you're having better circulation, you can breathe better, you actually can think better. So they actually say, so this study calls oxytocin cardioprotective hormone because it protects the heart, because it increases the size of the blood vessels. So I just thought that was so cool because doing something kind is actually physically helping you.
Yes, I love that.
I thought it was really awesome.
I love that. The health things too, like it can help your blood pressure and that's great.
Yeah. And here's one. You have an almost teenager, so I thought this was a super awesome thing. So one act of kindness, and then having a teenager having experienced or doing an act of kindness, and then recalling it, can make a person feel better, leading to feelings of happiness about themselves, and in turn then can help lower depression or anxiety and give them a feeling of purpose. Just one act of kindness and then talking about that it happened. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. Like, just, I don't know, like if you can just think about like your everyday things, like, oh, like my son cleaned my house while I was shopping yesterday. Like he picked up my living room upstairs and downstairs. And he was so like happy about it. Like when he came home, he's like, guess what I did? Like, and then, oh my gosh, I appreciate you so much. Just like, I think just those words, great words.
Yeah, they are. And the fact that it can help, the purposeful feeling thing really got to me, that it can give them a sense of purpose just by actually being kind or being told they're appreciated. I thought that was so powerful because teenagers, I know we had it bad. We all, each generation has it so bad, right? But I think that this particular generation, there's a lot of stress put on them, a lot of expectations. And so, like, what an easy way to make sure that they're feeling validated in life and happy.
Yes.
Isn't that what we want?
Yes.
So I also have, as far as a physical thing, that it releases serotonin also, which serotonin, being kind, releases serotonin. And serotonin is your body's happy drug.
Yes, it is.
That's pretty awesome too. All just by doing simple something.
I love it.
Has anybody done a simple something for you recently?
I think it's harder to recall the things that someone else does for you, don't you think? I feel like
Well, your son cleaned up for you.
Yes,
That was pretty
that
awesome.
was very awesome. Yes. I'm trying to think. I just think even like simple things like a text. Hey, I'm thinking about you today. How are you? I get those occasionally. Hey, I'm thinking about you. Um, and that just like means a lot that someone's actually like cares about me enough to think about me. You know what I mean? So I think that's just a simple way to just say, hey, like I'm thinking about you. What's going on in your life? Tell me more, and it's not even that hard. It takes like 2 minutes.
Right. Or you talk the text and it takes 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and it brightens somebody's day.
Yeah.
That's
So I
awesome.
think just like little, it doesn't have to be hard. It does not have to be hard. It can be easy.
Yeah. And I think it doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be money.
Right. Yeah.
Like for me yesterday with the gift certificate, I got those gifts. They gave me, I don't know, it's little coins for this coffee shop. And I'm a preschool teacher, and I got them as a gift last year for Christmas, and I hadn't used them. And so I hadn't used them in a year. They're not, burning a hole in my pocket by any means. So it was effortless because it wasn't, but I think holding the door for somebody. So my son held the door for somebody, for an older woman, and she was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Actually, like over the top. And I thought, oh my goodness, where has our world gone? That is her reaction, that a 13-year-old held the door for her.
Sad, right?
Sad. It's sad, but she appreciated it so much. He was like, Mom, can you believe she just did that? Like, sadly, a little bit, yes, I can believe she just did that, but that reaction is exactly why you always hold the door or wait or smile.
And that reaction probably will help him want to open the door for people.
Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
So it's amazing what small little things, it doesn't have to be, some major anything, but I loved that purposeful gifts was one of the things that I found that can help. Because then rather than being crazy shopping, have to get it done, sit down, make a list of what the person loves, kind of break it down for yourself so that you can really think about them. I like that so much.
Yeah, that's great.
Excuse me. So, what do you have planned for today?
I have a few meetings that I need to attend. So one's a training that I'm looking forward to, and then another one's just like a conference. So
okay,
that's like this evening, but kind of just chilling today with my family. Like we don't have a whole lot to do, and
how's your daughter feeling?
She just came upstairs while we were recording, and she handed me her temperature thing. She's not feeling very good at all. Aww. She's at 102, so I probably should go pretty soon, but but will you recap before? I don't know, are you done talking about is there anything else that you want to add to because I wanted you to recap and say the things that we talked about, discussed. Like one was a gift, like a purposeful gift.
Oh, sure. So yes, a purposeful gift, which was, again, I think one of my favorite things. The fact that being kind can be really small. You don't have to spend money. And that when you are kind to people, there's a chemical change in your body, both with serotonin, which makes you happy. And then when you're happy, you then spread that happiness. I mean, I think in general, people can't help it when they're really happy inside. I'm just thinking of, I know this is a recap, but we watched a football game on Thanksgiving, and our team won, go Bills. And my brother-in-law was so happy. I mean, happy is not even the word, ecstatic. He was beyond over the top. When you are so happy, you can't help but share that. Like anybody looking at him smiled, right? So when we're doing things that are allowing us to release serotonin and feel good, we're sharing that with people around us. So that's
Right.
very powerful to me. The other chemical change was the oxytocin and opening your blood vessels. And really, honestly, that also, aside from your heart, reduces inflammation. I'm just thinking as a side note, everybody has inflammation. So why not do something that helps everything in your system, you know? So we also talked about teenagers and the effect acts of kindness have on them and giving them a feeling of purpose, which I think that is so powerful and not to be overlooked. Because
Well, I would agree, because I feel like a teenagers, like they have so many emotions going on. Like they're up and down and up and down, you know,
oh yeah,
that it is, and like confidence is a huge, like they need to build their confidence at this time in their life.
yes.
And it's really important for them to do that, because if they don't, then they most likely won't have a very high self-esteem if they don't have very good confidence as a teenager.
Yeah, and
So
that breaks my heart, that idea.
yeah.
And let me think. I don't know if we talked about actually the effect kindness has on anxiety, which is pretty spectacular as well. There's a whole bunch of scientific reasons why, but essentially it's a chemical change again. And when you are kind to people, you're increasing relationships with your community, with people close to you. And so, I mean, the study that I have, it's way too scientific to actually delve into, but the end result is a small gesture can make a big difference in keeping anxiety at bay, which I'm sorry, but you really don't want to hear. I'll give you some of the words. Low positive affect factor can significantly affect psychological well-being and adaptive functioning. That's the best line I can give you, but that's in and of itself powerful. Like inflammation in your body, your heart can benefit, your happiness can benefit, your anxiety can benefit,
Right.
your feeling of purpose can benefit, and then you spread that to everybody around you.
Yeah.
Just by holding the door, giving your coupon to somebody.
Simple things.
You know, simple things.
Yeah. I love that you're doing that kindness challenge. I think it's amazing. So keep it up.
Thank you. I will. Today I am delivering little bags of hot chocolate to some friends. So we have a little thing of hot chocolate and marshmallows and a candy cane in a little baggie.
Cute. That'll be fun.
I've done that since my boy was little, not so little now, but yes.
Traditions. I love traditions too.
Yes, me too. All right. Well, have a wonderful day. I hope your meetings go well and you enjoy them. I say quickly, but sometimes when you enjoy them, you want to.
I hope this feels better.
That's true. Oh, clearly.
The flu is going around right now in our area, so
you need some On Guard.
On Guard, maybe.
Diffuse that. Kill it all. All right. Well, have a wonderful day. I hope Ellie feels better.
Thank you. You do. I hope you have a good day and drive safely while you are delivering.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later, Steph.
Bye-bye. Have a great day, TaNelle.